Another common problem that you're likely to see on the exam regarding prorations at closing has to do with rents. Now, this is one that the math is no more difficult on this than it is on the others, but there's a couple of things that you have to think about to make sure you don't make a mistake. First of all, rents are paid on a monthly basis, so you don't have to worry about that whole 360-day thing. It's 30 days, right? And the other thing is you have to keep in mind where the rents are, because once you know where the rent is, then it'll help you understand this problem. Let me give you an example. I'm going to read from the book. If you don't have the workbook, you can just make a note of this. Damien is purchasing a triplex that rents for $1,800 per unit per month. So this is it's predicated on the fact that you know a triplex is 3 units, each one renting for $1,800. All tenants paid rent by June 5th, good. What is the rent proration if closing is held on June 19th? All right, so we're dealing with some stuff here. First of all, the rent is $1,800 per month, but times 3 because it's a triplex, $5,400 per month, okay? That means that the daily rent for this, 540 divided by 30, because there are 30 days in a month, 5,400 divided by 30 means that the rents are about 180 per day. Okay, and you look at that and say, well, where are you going with this? The seller already has that money. Yeah, the seller does have that money. But think about this. It's closing on June 19th, all right? June 1st, June 30th, only 30 days here. The seller was paid right here. The seller was paid for the whole month. To me, that doesn't seem quite fair that the seller just keeps that money. So what would make it fair? Well, what if the buyer were to be paid for the part of the month that he's going to use? I mean, they're going to be his tenants, so he's going to be responsible to the tenants, so he should have the money that they're paying for our rent. So let's see here, 30 minus 19 is 11 days. 30 minus 19 is 11 days. Remember, in North Carolina, the seller owns the day of closing. In our other problems, it hurt the seller because he had to pay for that day. But in a rent proration, it actually helps him because he gets to keep that day because he owns the day of closing. So the buyer is going to be entitled to 11 days at $180 per day. So 11 times 1,800 is going to be $1,980. It's going to show up on the settlement statement. We're taking care of all this on the settlement statement. So we're going to debit the seller, $1,980, and we're going to credit the buyer that exact same amount. I will tell you, on the test, students try to make it look like, say, well, wouldn't it be a different number, like $1,980 to the buyer and a different amount to the seller? No. Whatever we take from the seller is exactly what we give to the buyer on the settlement statement. So watch out for rent on the test, but it's no more difficult than what you see there. That's a rent proration.